In Education Matters, 8 of the 9 members now have been named for Memphis-Shelby County Schools' new oversight committee. 5 were appointed by Governor Bill Lee, 2 by the Lieutenant Governor, and 2 by the Speaker of the House, who still has one final pick to make. With the new board set to take control later this summer, many are wondering what that means for students and families. Joining us now to talk more about what this could mean next are former Shelby County Commissioner Mike Carpenter. And Mike, glad to have you back on 3 at 3. Good to see you as always.
Good to see you.
We know 8 of those 9 members have been officially named. One more person has got to be appointed. What are your thoughts so far of what you heard and who's going to be on this board?
Well, I think it's a stellar group for sure in terms of accomplishment and their commitment to the community. Pleasantly surprised with that. Also pleasantly surprised that it looks like that the majority of that group is going to be people of color, which I think is important for our school system. But I do have some observations, and one of those is that for a long time, for many years, one of the main concerns with our school system has been that our kids are not reading at grade level, especially by third grade marker. And that was true when former Superintendent Dorsey Hobson was superintendent. That was true when Billy Orgel was on the school board. That was true when Dedrick Brittenham was counsel for the schools.
Right.
And so from my standpoint, if you wanted to do something innovative, rather than bringing some folks who have been there in the past, why not bring in some folks with some brand new ideas and who haven't been a part of trying to solve that problem before?
So are you concerned about this being more of the same that we've seen before, or what?
Well, I think there's definitely potential for that. And what it looks like to me is that it's less about making sure that we get those problems solved with kids' literacy, with financial issues, than it is about sort of punishing the school board and the debacle that was the firing of Marie Fagans.
Right. So when it comes to state control versus local control, what do you see? Where are we leaning here with this, though?
Well, I mean, look, all of these folks, based on the legislation, can be removed by the appointing authority. So if they were appointed by the governor, if they were appointed by the speaker, if they were appointed by the lieutenant governor, at any point in time, for any reason, they can be removed. So if these state officials don't like the direction that it's headed, they can replace that person. So at the end of the day, I think these folks ultimately answer to the people who appointed them. So
Mike, who really gained something here? What about families? What about students who live right here in Memphis and Shelby County? What do they get?
Well, that's a great point. I mean, it's so what you're going to have, I think, is at least in the early going, some confusion, maybe some chaos, because you've got an elected school board trying to make decisions, but an oversight board that can override any of those decisions at any time. Secondly, to my knowledge, there's not a teacher on this board so far. There is one seat left to appoint, nor is there a parent with current Memphis and Shelby County schools children in school. And I think those perspectives are important on this as well.
It's going to be very interesting to watch this as this begins to play out the first part of July of this summer.
Yes, definitely.
Let's talk about another issue. Candidates running for multiple offices at the same time. Mike, is this legal in the state of Tennessee? Can this be done?
In fact, it can. And, if you look back to 2018, when Marsha Blackburn was elected to the U.S. Senate, Gloria Johnson, and I'm sorry, I went back too far. It wasn't as far back as 2018, but in her most recent election, pardon me, Gloria Johnson from Knoxville ran for both her state representative seat and for U.S. Senate against Marsha Blackburn. Well, now what we're looking at is with these new congressional districts, we've got 4 candidates in the 9th congressional district, the new 9th, that are all running for their state House and state Senate seats, but also running for Congress at the same time. So it is legal to do that.
So you can double dip, so to speak, here.
You can, and one of the interesting things about it is that in the case of Senator Brent Taylor, for example, as of the last disclosure, he had almost $1 million in his state Senate campaign account. And this was prior to the redistricting. So now he'll be raising money, is raising money to run for Congress in the 9th Congressional District. So he can spend the money in the state Senate campaign account for state Senate, and he can spend the money in the congressional account at the same time for Congress, and they can have similar messages as long as he doesn't say with the state state Senate money, hey, vote for me for Congress, or vice versa. And so he's getting the advantage of spending both pots of money at the same time, and some confusion for voters. And he's not the only one. He just has the biggest war chest right now. The others are Senator London Lamar, Representative Justin Pearson, and then over in the eastern part of the 9th District, Representative Todd Warner, all looking to hang on to their seats in the state House or the state Senate,
right.
and run for Congress. Now, if they win both, then they have to resign one. And presumably it would be the state seat, which would trigger a special election that would happen at the end of this year.
And like you said again, though, it is legal.
It is
Some people
legal,
may not like it,
yes.
but it is legal. One last thing very quickly here. DA Steve Mulroy's lawsuit against the state of Tennessee. What's this all about? How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, it really comes down to that silly thing called the Constitution. The Constitution of the state of Tennessee gives discretion to prosecutors, or to the Attorney General. They have a lot of prosecutorial discretion. And in this particular legislation, and the other thing that it does is that the courts have ruled that laws passed by the General Assembly have to be laws of general applicability or application, meaning it applies to all the counties in the state or all areas of the state. These two bills were particularly targeted at DA Mulroy and infringe on his prosecutorial discretion. At least that's his claim. And it's clear because one of them specifically mentions the Memphis Safe Task Force. There is no Memphis Safe Task Force in Davidson County or Lawrence County or Knox County or wherever else. It's here, and so it's clearly targeted at him. And so it'll be interesting to see how the courts decide on this.
Well, last thing, we can find out more information and more opinions from you on your own newsletter.
That's right. It's free to subscribe, and it's the-3am.com, and you can go there right now, and it comes out every Friday.
Mike Carpenter, always glad to have you back on 3 at 3.
Great. Thanks
Good
so
to
much.
see you. A short break. We'll be back in just a moment.